Welcome to the second part of my video reviewing this music book of Elton John's finest songs. Now you can probably see that mine is falling apart because it's had so much use. Now it's a curious collection of songs in this book. There are some notable omissions and there are some tracks in it which I would say are a bit of a surprise to be there. Anyway, I'm just going to play through a little bit of each one just to give you a flavour of the settings and say whether it's something I think you would enjoy playing. I finished on Sweet Painted Lady, which was from the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album, and it now moves to 1974. This is the publishing date of this music. It may not be when it appeared on vinyl. And it's The Bitch Is Back. A great rousing song, of course, particularly impressive, I thought, in the Rocket Man movie. Great dance number to this one. Not a very easy one for the piano, though, because it's very much a guitar-led song on stage. Pretty difficult even to play this introduction. I'll just have a go at it. I'm not a great pianist, just an average one, but I'm just going to have a go. You get the idea of that beginning. It's an A flat major, not the easiest key to play in, but it's one you can have fun with when you go through the book. And very high singing range needed, very big range needed to get all those. Now, who could not recognise the next introduction? And so on. Of course, it's Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, one of Elton's greatest ballads. And because it's a piano-led ballad, and it's in the original key that he sings in, it's quite an easy one to play. Not quite so easy to sing because it's going right up to top G. Now, I certainly can't get up there. I can just about manage an E with a bit of a run up to it, but I certainly can't get up to G. So if you've got a digital piano and you still want this setting, what you can do is you can just lower the pitch. If you lowered it by 4 semitones, that's -4, you'll probably find you can play it all and then still get those high notes at the top. So good luck with that one. Okay, next big track up is one that never appeared on an original album but was a huge hit for Elton. Yes, it's Philadelphia Freedom. This is a great song when he performed live. You've probably seen that. It's kind of a piano song in a way, but big orchestral backing, of course, on the original recording. So it's a reasonable one to play, especially on the chorus. Going down there, so you can really get into it. It's in the key of F, not so good on the guitar, of course, but quite an easy one to play with. Look at this, how this is all coming apart here. So it's good to have that one. And next one is another one that didn't appear on an original album, but was a massive hit, Elton's first #1 in the UK. Can you guess what it is? It was a duet with Kiki D, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. So let's see what we can manage with this one. This is how the introduction goes. And so on, then the vocal coming in. Another one in the key of F, so relatively straightforward to play that one. Next inclusion in this book is rather an oddity for me. They've decided to put in Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Lennon and McCartney song for the Beatles, of course. Elton had his own hit with it, made a few changes to it, but this is just the original music by Lennon and McCartney. And of course you can find this in any Beatles songbook, can't you? So a bit of a waste of space in a way. And later on I'm going to be suggesting some tracks I would like to have seen in this book, and I'll tell you a few of them already. I'd like to have seen Harmony in here from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I would love to have seen Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatter's from the Honky Chateau album. Both fantastic songs missing from this collection. Okay, let's see what's coming up next. Next one, another odd inclusion in a way. It's Pinball Wizard. Big hit, of course, from the film Tommy for Elton, but not written by Elton, written by Pete Townsend from The Who. And although it's got a memorable piano track in it, it's very much a guitar-led song. Of course, we remember this bit from the song. Pretty difficult to play, actually. I'm not doing it very well. That doesn't even appear in the music, unfortunately. It's a really weird imitation of the guitar intro to that. So again, a bit of wasted space, I would say, in that. However, the next one isn't wasted space. It's a classic song from the Captain Fantastic album and one of Elton's most moving and personal ballads. See if you can guess from the intro what this is. And so on, and coming in there. When I think of those East End lights, muggy nights, the curtains drawn in a little room downstairs. Prima donna, Lord, you really should have been there, sitting like a princess perched in her electric chair. And it's one more beer and I don't hear you. Okay, I'm not going to sing any more of that because it goes up really high. But a decent piano setting to this one. Nice one to sing. As we know, it's a great song. Goes up very high, so you may want to bring that pitch a little bit down if you're playing this one at home. In fact, it goes right up to top B, right at the end there, which of course Elton could do because he had this fantastic range. Let's see what's next. Now, next track is the title track from Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. For me, a disappointing choice because I don't think it's the greatest song from that album. But what I would have loved to have seen was We All Fall in Love Sometimes. Beautiful ballad. It's really stood the test of time. Or even something like Meal Ticket, which I think is a much better song. So although it's a title track, for me, it's not a great one, and disappointing choice there. Opportunity missed as far as I'm concerned. So we're moving on now to the Rock of the Westies album. Not Elton's finest hour, I don't think, but this was a famous track from it. See if you can get it from the introduction. That is Island Girl. A little bit of a dated track now that in terms of its lyrics and its approach, but still a well-known one in the Elton repertoire. Another one included from the album is this. See if you can get it from the intro. Did you get it? That one is Grow Some Funk of Your Own. Not a particularly suited one to the piano, that one. A reasonable track, I would say. But that's all we get from Rock of the Westies. And it moves on now to Blue Moves. And if I just try and play for you the opening of this one, see what you make of it. This is possibly one of Elton's most recognisable piano introductions. Of course, this is Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word, one of his most accomplished ballads. I probably don't need to say any more about that except it's in G minor. It's not too difficult to play, but if you're going to sing along with it, you might need to adjust the pitch because it goes right up to a top A. In fact, top B. It's a sad, sad situation. I'm singing an octave down there, but originally it was an octave up from where I was singing. So it's quite challenging to sing, but of course, a beautiful song. Now, I'm not much of a rocker, but I'll have a go at the next one because it's a really good song from Blue Moves. A bit underrated, this one. It goes like this. This is the verse. She slid down to the city limits. Monkey me time in 15 minutes. Bite your lip, get up and dance. Don't let me down, please stick around. Bite your lip, get up and dance. And so on. Bite your lip, get up and dance. Really good rocker, that one, that closes the whole album. Now, I really like Blue Moves, actually. Lots of good stuff on this. And what could have gone in this? Well, Tonight is a great ballad. That would have worked really well. Wouldn't mind seeing Cage the Songbird or Crazy Water. Both good tracks there. Or even some of these instrumentals there. Out of the Blue is a strong instrumental. And what else we've got? Where's the Shura and Idol? Both pretty good tracks. So maybe some more of those could have gone in there rather than having these Beatles and Who songs, which can be found elsewhere. Now we're moving on to A Single Man, and what better track to play on the piano than this one? Of course, that's Song for Guy, which is a piano solo piece anyway. So this should be a good one to play, and indeed it is. It's a pretty faithful reproduction of what Elton plays here. Of course, he has a little bit of electronic background coming in on his, which enhances the whole thing. But that's a good one to play, and it's a pretty good one to start on, actually, if you're perhaps a lesser able pianist, because it's very well known. You know when you're making a mistake. The chords aren't too bad, so why not start on that one? Now, things are starting to get a bit weird now, because the next track we have from the Single Man album is unbelievably Madness, which takes up 8 pages of this book. You get absolutely the whole thing. Now, it's not a classic track, and the words are pretty cheesy, actually. I'll have a look at it in a moment, but look at what else isn't included in this book. Shine On Through. A really quality piano ballad that opens this album. Georgia is another really good song from this album, and It Ain't Gonna Be Easy is pretty good as well. None of those included in this book, yet they have gone for this Madness. Let's see what that's like and whether it's worth its inclusion. That's got a piano introduction which is like this. And on it goes. I mean, it's not a bad song. It's just, does it merit so much of this book when other things could have been included? I would say probably not. Now, a real curiosity next, because the song is Ego, not on the Single Man album, issued as a single though, because it came from the same sessions. A really complex song, this one, and difficult to play. I'm just going to give you the little run of chords in the refrain. It goes like this. Quite a complex run, that, from Elton. A, D, G, C, F, B flat, E flat, D sustained, which makes it quite difficult for people to sing. Bit of a strange inclusion, but I think what we're getting the sense of towards the end of this book is that they were getting closer and closer to publication day and needed to cram in a few late choices. Now, just when you thought it couldn't get more bizarre, the next one included is Mama Can't Buy You Love, another flop single, not even written by Elton, this one. I don't know this song well enough to play it, to be honest. I've been a big fan of Elton for 40 years, but this one is barely registered on the radar, so maybe there's some sort of deal to include it, but I don't know why it's there. At least the next one is a quality track, going back to the Single Man album. See if you can recognise this one. It's, of course, it's Part-Time Love. Decent pop single, this one. Very catchy tune. Again, melody going very up high, but good one to play at the piano. Solid song, pretty well written. So that certainly merits its position in this book. So moving on to the Fox album now. Again, an album with some pretty good songs on it and some good piano ballads. The first one they've put in here is Nobody Wins. This is one of my favourite Elton tracks, actually, but it's not particularly a piano track. And in fact, I've seen him do a performance of this on YouTube where he's not at the piano at all. He just sings it. So the piano version is a little bit forced. Okay, you get the feeling of the song, you get the pattern of the chords, but it's not one that is particularly easy to play and to replicate on the keyboard. Maybe if you've got a keyboard where you can have rhythms and synth sounds as well, you can probably get a reasonably good mix out of this one. One of the finest songs from the Fox is this one. Let's see if we can have a go at it. How come you're so understanding when I tell you all my lies and pretending to believe them? See through all my alibis, and I need you more than ever, and so on. That is the fantastic ballad Chloe, and that works really well on piano. I just dropped the pitch down a couple of semitones there to make it easier for myself to sing it. So we're moving on now to the 2133 album, and two tracks which are amongst Elton's finest recordings, I think. We've got first Little Genie, and then we've got Sartorial Eloquence. Neither perhaps feature as his greatest hits necessarily, but I think are both really good quality songs. They're kind of warm and complete songs with delicious harmonies. And I'd compare them actually to a much later track, Recover Your Soul, from the Big Picture album, which is another one of my favourites. Now the question is, can we actually recreate these on the keyboard? Now, one of the issues with Little Genie is that it goes up very high. In fact, the music goes up to A flat. I'm thinking possibly actually G is the top note, which is right up here, and is certainly far too high for me to sing comfortably. So what do we do under those circumstances? Well, fortunately, if you've got an electronic keyboard, you can do a bit of a cheat by lowering all of the notes down. And that's what I'm going to do, because I know that I can sing up to top E at a stretch. So I know that I've got to lower the music by at least 3 semitones, and then I can sing the whole thing. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to my menu, I'm going to basic settings, and I'm going to key transpose. And this is what I want to do now. I want to lower it by 3 semitones. So I'm going down there to -3. And the effect will be that when I want to sing a G up here, I only have to press this note, and it's going to give me that extra range that I need. So now I'm starting off in a much more comfortable key. That's the introduction there, and then, oh, little genie, you got so much love, little genie, and so on. That's how the verse starts. Pretty comfortable singing down there. I know I'm not a great singer, I'm just doing this for fun. Piano playing is reasonable, I suppose. Voice not so good, but it's just for enjoyment. I'm not trying to sell my music to anybody or anything. Anyway, there's some nice bits in this verse. It's a really beautifully harmonised song by Elton, this one. And then when we get to the chorus, and I want you to be my acrobat, I want you to be my lover. And see, even those really high notes now become just about singable because I've done that little cheat and I've lowered the music down. Lovely outflow to this song at the end with this little bit here. You stepped into my life from a bad dream, making the life that I had seem suddenly shiny and new. Oh, Gina, I'm so in love with you. That's a really pleasant ending to that song, isn't it? And I would say this is one of the best in the book, actually, to recreate on your own keyboard. That's a bit of how little Ginny looks. Now the next song is Sartorial Eloquence, one of Elton's most underrated ballads, I think. When you first look at this, you think, oh no, it's in 5 flats. But it's actually fairly comfortable playing in 5 flats. It's actually all the black notes. All the black notes are flats in this one. This is how it starts. Quite a simple, short introduction, not too difficult to play. Then it comes in, you've a certain sartorial eloquence and a style that's almost all your own. Maybe a little bit low to sing that, I don't know, but comes in all right. Then the song starts to build up. You've got a self-sufficient swept back hairdo. And so on over the page. Don't you hate page turns in some of these pieces of music? And then we've got our refrain, of course, which is, don't you want to play this game no more? Don't you want to play no more? Don't you want to play this game no more? Don't you want to play no more? Just about singable. We can just get up to those high notes because of our little cheat on the keyboard. Good song. That's how Sartorial Eloquence starts. Look at those 5 flats. Not as bad as it looks though. So now we move to a really bizarre choice in this book. It's Ball and Chain from the Jump Up album. Now, for a while, I think this was being touted around as a single, and there are a few recorded instances of Elton singing this live, which you can find on YouTube. Of course, it wasn't a hit. It's not one of his greatest recordings. Maybe it's in this book because it came out around the same time as the book, there's really not that much we can recommend about this as a song. It's a deep cut, I suppose. Elton fans might enjoy it. It's not a bad song. It's just not as good as some of the others in the book. I think probably just going to skip over that one. But we're going to stay with the Jump Up album and what I consider to be the best song from the Jump Up album, which is a Tim Rice collaboration, Legal Boys. It's a really good quality song. It's a story song, excellent lyrics as you'd expect from Tim Rice, of course. Let's just have a bit of a deeper dive into this. So, Legal Boys is next, and this is one of Elton's finest recordings on the Jump Up album, written in collaboration with Tim Rice. Really good lyrics. It's a story song. It's written in G minor. It goes up to top A flat. So what I've done is I've shifted my keyboard down by 4 semitones, so that should still be within my vocal range. No introduction to this, just go straight into it. Your accountant called this morning. There was springtime in his heart. He couldn't wait to tell me how he'd pulled our lives apart. Lots of interesting harmonies in that and an enjoyable one to play. And you've got this refrain which goes, it says something for the legal boys, but nothing much for us. But all we had together is so quickly ended thus. The legal boys have won again, you and I have lost. They can't tell us how it happened, but they'll let us know the cost. Oh, they'll let us know the cost. Oh yeah. Of course, it should go higher at the end, but I've forgotten it goes up to B flat, and that's too high for me. Decent song though, good song, and it works quite well with the keyboard. Let's see what's next. Legal Boys there with Tim Rice. A very tightly written song that. Good quality song, good quality lyrics, not too bad to play. So now Blue Eyes, also from the Jump Up album, of course a classic Elton song, this one. Singable probably by almost everybody, this, because Elton does it in a fairly low range. Another song without an intro, and it starts on a curious chord which is called B flat with a 6 in it. Blue eyes, baby's got blue eyes, like a deep blue sea. Now, some really interesting chords being used here. This is E flat 11, this one. A really fruity chord, isn't it? It's a lovely sound to that. And I think that's one of the features of the whole song, is the way it's harmonized. So that's a good one for the keyboard. Blue Eyes there, no messing, straight into that refrain. Again, a comfortable one to play, that. So the final song in the book, and this is also from the Jump Up album, and this is Empty Garden, which is Elton's tribute to John Lennon. A lot of people really like this song and say it's their standout on the album. Fair enough. It's not particularly one of my favourites, although obviously I agree with the sentiment of it and the idea of a tribute to John Lennon. It's just, for me, not a particularly beautiful or moving song, but if you want to play it on the keyboard, why not? It's in the key of E flat. I've just taken it down a little bit here, but what happened here as the New York sunset disappeared? I found an empty garden among the flagstones there. Oh, lived here. He must have been a gardener who cared a lot, weeded out the tears and grew a good crop. Now it all looks strange. It's funny how one insect could damage so much grain. And so on. I probably didn't do that very well, did I, actually? But it works on the piano. You could sit down and you could play this to yourself, or you could play it to others. And it's got quite a strong and moving refrain as well. So we've come to the end of this book, and as you can see from my version of this book, it's completely tattered and in pieces because of the number of times I've played it. I would recommend getting it. If there's a better anthology out there, please let me know. I've mentioned already that there are some songs missing from this. Things like Harmony, things like Shine On Through, things like Mad Hatters, Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters, 3 great ballads which I would like to see in this, and there's some curious inclusions. But it's really something worth getting. It would be nice to see a similar book for perhaps the second half of Elton's career, as this only goes up to the Jump Up album. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Please subscribe if you have. Leave your comments below about this book and what else you'd like to see in it, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget, we're still standing.